Alright. Yo, how's it going, guys? It's Dom here, and I'm back with another live stream video. This time, however, I'm not talking about a team sport. This is the first time I'm talking about combat sports on this channel. This is something that I got into sophomore year of high school after the Floyd Mayweather vs. Manny Pacquiao fight. I became a massive Floyd Mayweather fan, got into boxing. After that, really only got into the MMA stuff once Conor McGregor also took off shortly after that, really. And I think that really kickstarted combat sports and pay-per-view in a new generation. With that being said, I'm going to talk about the last two fights primarily. If you guys didn't see, Francis Ngannou destroyed this dude who challenged him in, I think it was 15 seconds, whatever. You can look up a clip on YouTube. I won't show one because I'll get copyrighted, but go look that up because Francis Ngannou destroyed this dude. That dude challenged him, and you saw it in his eyes the moment he stepped in the ring. I think Anderson Silva got knocked out by, or Jose Aldo got knocked out by Conor McGregor once. John Jones has done this a couple times. Like, some guys just knock people out in a couple seconds when they're not ready. You know, Cerrone, as much as I love him, that happened to him against McGregor just a little while ago. So that fight wasn't very fair. However, the last two fights, great fights. Beginning with this Dominick Cruz versus Henry Cejudo fight. Cejudo versus Cruz for the World Bantamweight Championship. This was great. I'm so glad I tuned in. First live sports in a while, obviously. I really was looking forward to this Ferguson versus Khabib fight. Anyway, this Cejudo versus Cruz fight was, Cruz has this kind of this figure eight pattern, they were saying, and then Cejudo has this other he's kind of a short, stocky, built dude, pretty ripped, but like he was kicking at the legs a lot. He was causing a lot of damage to Cruz's legs. And then Cruz really landed a couple punches, and his figure eight pattern, as long as he could keep that going, he was keeping Cejudo at bay. But he really just got destroyed in what I think it was the fourth round. I actually just watched it. I'm fresh off of it. I believe it was the fourth round. Let me just go check real quick. And I will... Alright, and I will, I think I'm allowed to broadcast this. I'm not sure. Anyway, what I wanted to say from the UFC's website, what they said, anyway, Cejudo was 33 and he retired to raise his 11-year-old girl and, start his family and stuff, or really just focus on his family and stuff. Anyway, Cruz got more aggressive in the second round. Though he started throwing wild, soon he began to find his range. The exchanges got more heated, with one producing a clash of heads that cut Cejudo's forehead with under 30 seconds left. That's right. Cejudo had his forehead cut. They had to stop the match. Now I remember. It was in the second round, wasn't it? Okay. So it was the second round. Wow. I'm going to talk about this Ferguson versus Gaethje fight that went 5 rounds in a minute, and you guys are going to see why. I need to go grab my, actually, I have my drinks right here. I'm sweating. This has been a crazy event, UFC 249. We haven't had sports in a long time, and you guys can see the adrenaline. As Gaethje said after his win, adrenaline's the best drug. But right now I'm sipping on a White Claw because I gotta cool myself down. I am of legal age. Don't drink if you're under legal age. Anyway, Ferguson versus... Okay, so Cejudo versus Cruz. Cruz got more aggressive. Cejudo's forehead got cut because since they were moving in different, what was it? They were moving at different angles, they said. So Cruz was doing the figure eight pattern. Cejudo was doing his kind of thing where he was trying to just stay in and be the more ripped fighter. Kind of similar to what I'm going to talk about Gaethje was doing in a second. Kind of just hanging in there and doing a Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson thing. But as if you were very talented as Buster Douglas, and not, Mike Tyson wasn't Mike Tyson. I'm not the best explaining combat sports, so bear with me here, but I appreciate that if you guys are. Anyway, really, they were moving at different angles, and then their heads collided, and it was gnarly. They were moving. Their heads just hit. They both in the temple, and then Cejudo had to go get, like, the ref took him away for a sec, and like the trainer like got him figured out, but he was still bleeding hella, because that's just how the UFC goes. Even though we've got the coronavirus going on, which I'm gonna actually talk about before I end this video, because anyway, so they were moving at weird angles. Then their heads collided. Then that really screwed up the fight and the dynamics. It only lasted for like 30 or 45 seconds after that. Cejudo caught Cruz with one. I forget what was it. After a check from the octagon side position, the fight resumed, and Cejudo went on the attack, dropping Cruz with a flush right knee. That's what it was. It was a right knee. He dropped Cejudo. Cejudo dropped Cruz with a right knee to the face, followed with a right and 11. He had 11 unanswered punches, which they asked Cruz about after the fight. Then the Keith Peterson, the referee, came in to stop it at 4:58 of round 2, so with 2:6 to go in the second round. Anyway, basically, after the fight, they were showing the Twitter feed, and guys were saying that they stopped it early. Cruz said they stopped it early. Cejudo said he would have been pissed if he was in that situation. They stopped it for him. I thought it should have been stopped. And on the replay, so Rogan and the other commentator, I forget who it was, they both said it shouldn't have been stopped. Then after the replay, they saw the gnarly knee, which basically hit Dominick Cruz. Shout out. Got the same spelling of my name, so I was obviously rooting for that guy. Anyway, he like stumbled back, and he took like 5 seconds trying to regain his balance, like crouched down, falling over, and he was done once he was getting pummeled 11 times in the face. Like, I think, even though I wanted him to win, basically, it was Hut once. I mean, but so basically what happened was, he was like, he got his legs under him, and he was kind of working his way up, like, up the side of the octagon, the chaining. However, I think it was only because Cejudo had seen Keith Peterson, the ref, coming in to stop it, that he like let up on him, that he was able to get up on the side of the octagon. I think he was down, and he would have been pummeled to oblivion. So I think that was a fair stoppage. I don't question that. I am rooted for Dominick Cruz. Got the best spelling of the best name. It's my channel name. Subscribe if you're new. Anyway, I need to learn to say that more. Anyway, that was a great fight. One of the better undercards in UFC recent memory. Hopefully I'll remember it for a while. Anyway, moving on, we've got Justin Gaethje defeating Tony Ferguson by TKO in the main event. And so this went 5 rounds, like I said. This took it out of me, of everybody who was commentating, who was, working on the UFC 249 event. Took it out of both fighters. Wow. I'm going to actually show you guys exactly what's going on here. I'm going to go ahead and sorry about that. I'm going to give you guys the ability to see what I'm looking at. UFC 249 results. I think I'm allowed to do that. Sorry. Anyway, want to do it like that so I can block off my crap, but let's see. yeah, you guys see what I mean. Anyway, basically, if any of y'all are in here and want to read this, Gaethje, they have like a bunch of paragraphs for this as opposed to a couple for each thing because this went 5 rounds. I took a couple notes, man, but I'm gonna do my best to explain it off the dome. Man, I mean, I just wanted to show you guys this because this is a better, representation than I can give you of, the literal events that happened. However, I just want to express to you guys, basically, I'm just going to go through it and give you guys my thoughts. Last month, Gaethje said he only had 18 or 19 minutes of pure hell to give Tony Ferguson a UFC 249 main event. He lied as he gave El Kakui 23-39 of it, stopping Ferguson in the 5th round to win the interim UFC lightweight title. By the way, hydrate, guys. If any of you are watching this, remember to hydrate. All right. Yeah, Gaethje, who's 31, he replaced Khabib in the bout, obviously, that was originally scheduled for April 18th, but was delayed due to coronavirus. And after snapping Tony Ferguson's 12-fight winning streak, the human highlight will get his crack at Khabib. He right after the fight, he tore off the belt right before he did the interview, which is kind of funny. And Rogan was like, "Why'd you tear off the belt?" He said, "Oh, I'm waiting for the real one." Rogan immediately, he knows what he means. He's waiting to beat Khabib, because Tony's a nice, I don't know, a nice victory, a nice prize. Blanking on the right word right now, but you know what I mean. Tony's a good accomplishment. However, Gaethje, and Gaethje really fought well. I have to say, he kind of was like an inboxer. I think that's the right term. Forget, but he really just stands in there. He just a big stocky, ginger dude who stands in there. He looks like just a regular size, pretty muscular, pretty fat. But then you see him, he's really smart, and he's just kind of doing regular old boxing, but he's got some decent movement to him where he leans on either foot. He leans to either side on either foot, and then he generates off that. But he gets some nice combos, and he works with his elbows a lot and his shoulders, and he really gets up in your business, and he cleaned Tony's clock repeatedly over the course of that 23-39. The 24 minutes, this fight, it was worth every penny, to be honest. Wow. Anyway, Ferguson's movement and kicks kept, first, Gaethje had to upset Ferguson. He did just that. Ferguson's movement and kicks kept Gaethje from getting a read on him in the early going, but 2 minutes in, Gaethje landed a couple hard lefts at close range. Ferguson took the punches well and kept throwing a variety of strikes from a variety of angles, while Gaethje struck to a more conventional attack that was still working as he tagged his foe with accurate shots to the head. In the first 30 seconds, Gaethje landed a pair of lefts, gained Ferguson's attention. Both landed as round 2 open, and Gaethje followed up what was rapidly becoming his weapon of choice, a sweeping left hook. Yeah, so he was starting to throw a bunch of left hooks. They were talking about how his left hook was his best thing, even though people thought one of his kicks was really good. And Ferguson's chin was rock solid to his credit, obviously. They mentioned Tony Ferguson would not go down. He remained on his feet over the course of the entire thing, but if you guys watched it, you saw he was absolutely battered. As Joe Rogan described him at the end, he was just doing a stumbling kung fu thing. I hope I didn't misword that, but he was really shaking off every punch. And Joe Rogan was like, to see Tony Ferguson doing that, that something's up. And to see Joe Rogan saying Tony Ferguson's done, we all Joe Rogan had me wanting to believe that Tony Ferguson could challenge Khabib, but it's really sad that now they're not going to get their chance, at least for the immediate future, because if we remember, this fight was scheduled originally months ago, and got called off or something. Or like the Conor situation with the bus, I think that might have screwed this fight up the first time. And that might not. And anyway, they've been trying to plan this fight forever. They've actually planned it a couple times, and shit's just ruined it a bunch of times. And I don't know. I really hope we get to see Tony Ferguson fight Khabib while they're both still up there, because, you know, I mean, all the guys who I've heard, you know, have said that that's going to be, you know, a really good fight. And either of them could win. They're both all-time greats. It would cement one of their place in history for sure, and the other one, it's hard to say it would do damage to lose to the other one even. I mean, Khabib, it definitely would, considering he's unbeaten, which is why I think he's the best MMA fighter ever. Remember, I'm not a combat sports specialist, but this shit's real cool. And I'm having fun with it. Anyway, Tony stayed up. His chin was rock solid. Took more and more shots from the Arizonan Gaethje, the human highlight as they call him. And I actually, one of the tweets called Ferguson Zombie King, just because saying how is this dude still up after what he's taken? Because he was really taking a lot from Gaethje, especially early. And in the second round, at the end of the second round, he caught Gaethje with a nasty uppercut. Nasty uppercut. And Gaethje's mouth was bleeding. That was really the only pressure that Gaethje faced the entire time. He kept the heat on in round 3. Soon Ferguson's cut over the left eye and under the right eye. Had swelling under the right eye. Ferguson had to hope his skin wasn't going to betray him. With a little under 3 minutes left, Ferguson got rocked by a right hand. Seconds later, he ate another one, as Gaethje was clearly unaffected by the previous round's knockdown. He stayed in the pocket with Gaethje, tripping him to the mat briefly in an attempt to turn the tide. Yep. Yeah, he did trip him. He had this... He caught him with something, tripped him. I do remember that, but it didn't happen. Obviously, Gaethje remained in control in the fourth. Ferguson staggered midway through the fourth after getting caught with another hard right. Low kick by Tony brought a brief halt to the action, 60 seconds. But, yep, kicks, punches kept coming from Justin. And with 5 minutes left, obviously he could have sat on his lead. That's not his style. I mean, he sort of sat on his lead, but he also, I had the feeling that he kind of realized that he was going to win no matter what. Tony didn't have the explosiveness in him. He didn't have much in him left. And he really realized he was going to win. And it's like, all right, now it's, I mean, as a combat sports, like you heard him on the fight. He's a killer. No, he's getting his chance to tee up on him. Like, he got some shots in, and obviously the ref had seen enough. It's probably good he stopped it when he did. Like, looking back, we're not going to be mad that he stopped it when he did. It's good that he stopped it now. They always say that, But, I mean, Conor said that when he was getting choked out by Khabib. He said that he wished they didn't stop it or something. Or no, he tapped, I'm pretty sure. But I've seen a lot of, almost every time. Anyway, I think that's been it for me. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Wenshin Zhang. Let me know what you mean. Shout out to you guys in the comments. Let me know what's going on. But yeah, what's up, Wenshin Zhang? What's going on? If you're still here. Anyway, that's been it for me. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. And I will see you guys probably Monday, if not tomorrow. I'll probably have something of a video up for you guys tomorrow. With that being said, it's been your boy Dom, and I'm out. Peace.